There are so many myths about predatory behavior still out there, and there is this widespread belief that predatory behavior cannot be tackled with positive, kind, and force-free methods. And this is absolutely not true. Prey drive in dogs can be harnessed with positive training methods. My name is Simone. I am a certified dog trainer specialized in force-free anti-predation training, which means that I work with dogs with a high prey drive and I use positive and force-free training methods. On a daily basis, I work with dogs that are called high drive. And as you are here watching this webinar today, I am sure that you have such a dog too. If you have days with your dog that you think, well, this is not what I have signed up for, you are in good company. There are the not so dreamy parts, the chasing, the barking, the lunging. And all these parts leave us strained, confused, and desperate for help. It can be a day-to-day struggle. Predation is definitely the biggest challenge that comes with dog ownership. It can feel super overwhelming. There are so many misconceptions about prey drive out there. Some of them cost you time and energy, but some are counterproductive and some are outright dangerous. Everyone in your life seems to have an opinion and they are not keeping it to themselves. The internet has a gazillion answers, but you don't have the time to figure them all out. And meanwhile, there's also pressure from society to stop your dog from being a threat to other animals. I'm sure that you have also been told that it is impossible to work on your dog's prey drive with kind, friendly, and positive training methods, or that you have to use force and punishment-based methods such as e-collars, spray collars, a slip lead, or a prong in order to keep your dog safe. But this is not true. There are ways to harness your dog's prey drive with force-free, kind, and fair training methods. However, you need to know what you're doing. You need to understand what predatory behavior actually is, what works and what doesn't, and then you need a structured plan. I have made so many mistakes until I finally found a method that really works for my dogs and for my clients' dogs. And I want to spare you those mistakes. We are going to debunk those myths here in the webinar, and then I'm going to share a structured plan with you how to tackle predatory behavior without intimidation, punishment, pain, or fear. So stay tuned. What are the goals of predation substitute training? We all want safety and control for us, our dogs, and the environment that we live in. Emotional security arises when you know that your dog will not engage in uncontrolled chasing, which leads to less stress and less worry. We all want harmonious walks. The desire for relaxed and harmonious walks together with your dog has top priority. You want to enjoy quality time with your dog without constantly being worried or alert. A relaxed walk also strengthens the bond between you and your dog. We want social integration. As a dog owner, you probably want to connect with other like-minded dog people without constantly worrying that your dog's prey drive causes an issue. We all want to better understand our dogs. I want you to understand what is going on inside your dog's mind and body when they are in hunting mode, so that you can implement more targeted training measures and better fulfill your dog's needs. This leads to a stronger emotional connection and more peace of mind. And last not least, we all want more freedom for our dogs. I am sure that you want your dog to move as freely as possible without putting themselves or other animals in danger. More freedom contributes to your dog's satisfaction and you and your dog's happiness. Let's have a look at what predatory behavior in dogs actually is and what it looks like. This is important so that we all are on the same page and we all know what we are talking about. and also to understand the full extent of predatory behavior, because it might involve more, much more than you think at first glance. You need to know what you are dealing with to be able to tackle the root cause of the problem. A lack of proper understanding of what predatory behavior in dogs actually is and what it looks like is key to why so often we fail with our training attempts. When clients come to me and want to work on their dog's predatory behavior, what they usually say is, "My dog is chasing." But predation starts long before the chase. It all starts with orientation in the environment. Is there something to hunt? And they do this orientation behavior by sniffing the ground, scanning the environment with their eyes, or sniffing the air by air scenting with their nose high up in the air. If there really is prey around, the dog goes into a stalk. Their eyes are glued to the prey animal. The body becomes really tense, arrow-shaped, and then they go into a creep and try to get as close to the prey animal as possible before they start to chase. And this is the moment when we, the distracted owners on our mobile phones, finally realize, oh gosh, we're in trouble. My dog is hunting. But so much already happened before that. If the dog is lucky, he's able to grab bite, kill bite the prey animal, and this is often displayed with violent shakes of the head. He then possesses the prey, holds on to it, and then gradually starts to dissect and eat it. And now the predatory motor pattern has come to an end. Now that you know what the full extent of predatory behavior is and what it looks like, I would like you to do a quick rating. How strong is your dog's prey drive from 1 to 5? So let's debunk a few myths before we move on to how we can better manage and stop your dog's predatory behavior. So what are the don'ts that you will avoid from today? The first myth I am going to talk about is your dog will grow out of hunting behavior as they get older. And you might have guessed it already, this is wrong. Predatory behavior is genetically anchored, so it's impossible for a dog to grow out of it. Genetically anchored behaviors are the hardest behaviors to get rid of. It's much deeper ingrained than any learned behavior will ever be. Predatory behavior in most dogs develop at the age of adolescence, which is around 18 months old, but some already show it from puppyhood. If you have a dog with a high prey drive, one single occasion around that age might be enough to switch on your dog's predatory motivation. But if that happened to you, you don't need to blame yourself. You can be assured that it would have happened anyway. If you make it to about 3 years old and your dog has not shown any predatory behavior yet, you might be out of the deep end. If your dog is already showing predatory behavior and you simply wait for them to stop, this allows them to refine their skills. Because predation is always a mix of genetically anchored behavior plus learned behavior. And if you allow your dog to practice unwanted solo parts of predatory behavior over and over again, your dog is more likely to grow into a hunter and not out of one. There is this common advice, especially in positive dog training, that a behavior that is not reinforced will cease and not be shown anymore. What do you think? Does this apply for predatory behavior? If you ignore it, will it reduce or go away? I'm sorry, it won't. The rule that a behavior that is not reinforced will cease and not be shown anymore is true, but only for behaviors that are not self-rewarding for the dog. And predation is intrinsically motivating for dogs. It feels great. This totally makes sense. Imagine a young wolf going on the hunt for the first time in his life. He's not experienced, and of course, he will fail. And he will fail again, but still, he will do it. He will do it again and again. And it's the same with our dogs. They will perform this behavior over and over again, even if they are never successful, simply because it's so much fun. And why is it so much fun? Because they have a super exciting rush of dopamine that is released during predatory behavior. Dopamine is what makes humans become addicted to gambling. It is the anticipation of a win, the craving for new experiences. We call people that crave new exciting stuff adrenaline junkies, but in fact, they are dopamine junkies. The mix of adrenaline and dopamine feels like doing drugs. So our dogs get literally high when they hunt. And I'm sure you have seen that in your dog's face when they come back from an unauthorized solo hunting trip. They are gleaming with joy. After the hunt, if the dog was successful and they are indulging in dissecting and eating the prey, they have a rush of endorphins and serotonin into the body. Those are the happy hormones that make you enjoy your achievements. It's comparable to you indulging in a 5-course meal or a spa with massage and a full wellness package. You can now imagine that you do not need to reinforce this behavior with a dry cookie to make it stick, and that your dog craves these feelings more and more. So if you ignore it, the behavior will increase and not decrease. Neutering will reduce prey drive. And here it is not so very clear. There might be some truth to it. But before you now run off and get your dog fixed, let me tell you something. It depends. First of all, we are only talking about male dogs here, not about females. If your dog's predatory behavior is a kind of outlet for a general sexual over-arousal, it can be that your dog shows less predatory behavior after being neutered. If a dog is sexually always alert and super excited, then he might show predatory behavior to blow off steam. But this is only my observation and only for male dogs with a hypersexuality. Neutering might help here to achieve some overall calmness, and therefore the dog does not need to blow off steam that much anymore. But if your dog is not hypersexual, if you have a real hunter, if your dog is just interested in hunting itself, then the opposite might happen. And potentially this is because the only hobby that they have left when mating and reproduction and caring for offspring is not necessary anymore is hunting. So you have to be really careful. And one thing is true, neutering is never a quick fix for unwanted predatory behavior. This is quite a common advice. If your dog loves to chase, only ever feed from your hand, not from a bowl. And I think this is ethically questionable. Ethically, we will have to ask ourselves, do we really want a dog to be fully dependent on working for us to access food? Food, just like water and safety, is one of the basic needs of every living being, and it is our ethical responsibility to cater those basic needs. If you only ever feed your dog by hand, this can increase separation anxiety because the owner leaving means no food and possible starvation. It can also increase resource guarding, aggression towards other people, towards other dogs that approach you, because you are the dog's most valuable resource. I think that each and every dog should have at least one unconditional free meal per day. What totally makes sense, however, is to take a good part of your dog's whole daily allowance outside with you on your walks and use it to play predation substitute games. But there should be this one free, unconditional meal where you just simply leave your dog be. Squeaky toys. Squeaky and tug toys increase predatory behavior. This is wrong. Dogs know that these toys are not the real thing. They are so intelligent, way too intelligent to fall for this. If we do not use toys to our advantage, we deprive ourselves of mighty tools to train our dogs. And by toys, I mean everything that your dog finds exciting. Squeaky toys, furry toys, toys that move, toys that dogs can sink their teeth in and tug and maybe even dissect and eat from. These toys create a triple win. The first win is for the dog, who still gets to chase and hunt, but in a safe way. The second win is for the prey animal, who gets away safely. And the third win is for us, because we get cooperation instead of frustration. So instead of hunting solo, our dogs go fun hunting together with us. This one is a tricky one. Doing nose work increases predatory behavior. And I have to say, there is some truth to it. Nose work is a great need-oriented outlet for your dog. Always let your dog sniff on walks. This is so important for your dog's mental health. But be mindful of the skills you teach your dog. Searching is an orientation behavior, while tracking is a kind of chasing behavior. The dog follows an animal. If you teach your dog scenting or tracking, you teach them a skill, and this might backfire at you. For example, if you have a dog that is made for tracking and you teach them man trailing, that is super. That is a super need-oriented activity. You channel what they already know, what they already have in them. But if your dog is not bred for tracking and you teach them man trailing, and they practice this from an early age on, they will learn a new skill and they can and will use it in other contexts too. One simple game that can be done safely with any dog that will not teach your dog a skill that might backfire is the sausage tree. Take some soft sausages, cheese, liver cream, or something else that your dog enjoys, and put it or smear it into the bark of a tree and let your dog search for it. This is stationary and therefore safe, and it gives your dog an outlet for their need to sniff and search. Raw feeding will make your dog want to catch and kill prey. This is a very old one, but it still comes up every now and then, and it is wrong. Your dog does not already know what a deer or squirrel or bird tastes like. Giving them raw meat from a bowl won't make them want to find and catch and kill something to get that taste again, because they do not have this connection. In certain gun dog breeds, interestingly, the eating part of the predatory motor pattern has even been bred out. So they do not desire or perform this part. They are not supposed to dissect and eat the prey. And the reason is that the human hunter wants to enjoy the meat. Myth number 8, and this is one of my favorites: positive dog training does not work with predation. You can wave a whole steak in front of your dog, they will not be interested. Right or wrong? I have to say there is some truth to it. Let me share a very, very important sentence with you. Hunger does not drive predation. If it was that easy, we could simply feed our dogs before we go on a walk and they would never hunt. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. It is in wild canines. they only hunt and waste a lot of energy when they are hungry, but it's not true for our dogs. Through artificial breeding, we have put so much intrinsic motivation into certain parts of the predatory motor pattern that we want the dogs to perform, that they simply show this behavior just for the hell of it. So the truth is that you can't stop a dog from showing predatory behavior by just using food. It works for some dogs with medium or low prey drive, or for dogs that value food above everything else. But for dogs with a high predatory motivation, this won't work. And you can literally wave a steak in front of them when they are screaming and lunging and wanting to chase, and they will not even realize that the steak is there. Because in this moment, they are not in hunting mode. It is a little bit like you are about to bungee jump and you are standing on the platform, and then your partner comes along with a muffin and asks if you want to have a bite of this muffin. And this simply doesn't fit the situation. Of course, you don't want to eat muffins when you're about to jump off a platform. And it's the same with predatory behavior in dogs. When your dog is in hunting mode, they do not want to eat. Does this now mean that you need to use aversive methods or tools to work on predatory behavior? Well, if it was like that, we wouldn't be here today. But it means that you need to become more creative. Food is a great reinforcer, but it's not a functional reinforcer. We need to find rewards that are functional. This means that the reward serves the same function as the original behavior that the dog wants to show. If your dog wants to chase, your reward for not chasing an animal needs to be chasing something safe instead. If your dog wants to track down an animal, your reward for not tracking down this animal needs to be tracking down something safe instead. And the list goes on like that. When you have understood that your reward needs to resemble the motivation that your dog actually has in this moment, then you have the foot in that door. You have understood how to deal with predatory behavior. Myth number 9, never let your dog play fetch. It will make them become chasers. And yes, unfortunately, I have to say there is some truth to it. Fetch can technically make predatory behavior worse. It makes the dog more likely to slip into predatory behavior because fetch releases dopamine and it replicates the part of the predatory motor pattern that is responsible for releasing the most amount of dopamine. The fetch or the chase is the most intense part of predation. Dogs who repeatedly fetch on a regular basis have constantly high levels of dopamine, adrenaline, and cortisol with no time to calm down between chases. And this can make it more likely for them to slip into predatory behavior because they are on the edge and ready to chase again. However, this does not mean that you can never play fetch again. You can, but you should do it sporadically. As a rule of thumb, twice a week is a good number, because this gives the cortisol and the adrenaline levels enough time to go down in between. And you should give your dog the chance to warm up with more gentle fetches. Then you increase the intensity of your throws, and then you cool them down with slower, softer throws. And this is crucial, of course. In the end, they need a final cool down with some sprinkled treats. The last myth is the predatory motor pattern is flexible for individual dogs. And this is actually true. The order of the predatory motor pattern will differ between individual dogs, even among those of the same breeds. In wild canines, the predatory motor pattern is fixed. They always go and execute each individual part of the predatory sequence in the same order every time. They wake up, they feel hungry, they look around for prey, they stalk, they creep forward, they chase, they catch, they kill, they dissect and eat their prey. In dogs, it is different. We already know that hunger does not drive predation, so they do not need to go through this fixed pattern. And due to artificial selection and breeding, we have selected parts of the predatory motor pattern for our advantage, depending on what we need the dog to do. Most dogs don't need to orient first. They can be triggered and go into an immediate chase as soon as they see wildlife. And they can repeat this chase again and again, even if they know they will never catch the deer or the rabbit. This would be a completely stupid thing to do for a wolf. He would waste too much energy, too many calories. But our dogs, they come with special effects. They can only show parts of the predatory motor pattern. For example, a collie can go straight into a stalk, creep forward, lay down, and watch without chasing, grabbing, killing the lambs. Hounds can go straight into a track without orientation first or seeing the prey. Some of them kill their prey, some of them don't. Some of them do not dissect and eat the prey because the hunter wants this part for themselves. And this means that dealing with predation is super hard for us humans because it is so random and so unpredictable. You heard a lot about what will not be helpful when working on your dog's prey drive, but no worries, I won't leave you like that. What can you do instead? Only focusing on interrupting and stopping the chase doesn't provide successful long-term results. There is much more to anti-predation training than just stopping your dog from chasing. If you want long-lasting and sustainable results, even under highest distractions, such as running deer, you need a more holistic approach to this, which considers all aspects of predatory behavior. There are several components of force-free anti-predation training, and they are of equal importance. First, management and prevention. Second, tools that you use when you encounter wildlife. And these are not physical tools, these are behaviors. Third, predation games. And fourth, emergency cues. These four aspects of force-free anti-predation training are like a puzzle. If you take one away, the whole thing is not complete and won't really work out. So let's have a closer look at those parts. Management and prevention. The most important thing if you want to work on your dog's prey drive without intimidation, punishment, pain, or fear is to lower your dog's arousal and to teach your dog to stay in contact with you. This is the foundation for successful behavior modification. We already said that most dogs are not in the mood for food because they are too excited. So you need to find a way to lower your dog's arousal to a level that your dog is able to take food. Let's put it bluntly, if your dog has no time to eat and no time to look back at you, they will never have the time to follow your cues or to come back when they are in the middle of a chase. So getting your dog to eat, lowering your dog's arousal, and teaching your dog to stay in touch with you is key in force-free anti-predation training. When you finally manage to do this, it will be easy for your dog to give you his attention. There are lots of great exercises for this, and then the basis for your predation substitute training has already been created. The effect is that it gives you a break and it brings relaxation for the both of you. The second aspect are tools for when you encounter wildlife. These are not physical tools that you put on your dog, such as an e-collar or a prong or a spray collar. It is safe behaviors that your dog can perform instead of chasing another animal. We talked about the predatory motor pattern in the beginning of this webinar, and there are parts that are not safe to perform, for example, chasing, grabbing, or killing. But there are parts that are safe to perform, sniffing, for example, or watching. All those parts are intrinsically reinforcing for your dog. Your dog does not have to go through the whole behavior chain. They can perform parts and still feel those happy hormones. So instead of punishing your dog for hunting, teach your dog safe parts of the predatory motor pattern that are safe to perform in the presence of wildlife as an alternative behavior. You and your dog will be able to master the situation without lunging, barking, screaming, or chasing the other animal. And the effect is empowerment. Empowerment and agency and more freedom for you and your dog. So you are not so helpless anymore in a situation when you come across wildlife. The third aspect that you need to incorporate into your training is predation substitute games, safe outlets for predatory behavior. Here you will need to look at your individual dog. What was this dog bred to do? What does he or she enjoy to do? What are his or her hobbies? And then you will need to find games that match those passions, that are safe to perform. So instead of ripping apart another animal, it can be as simple as letting your dog rip apart a paper bag with treats. And the most important part is that your dog does this together with you. You are no longer the one to spoil the fun, to interrupt and stop and punish and nag, but you are now the partner that enables hunting success. Your dog will connect the happy hormones that are released during this substitution hunt with you. You become a hunting partner. And the effect is that this will bring back the fun into your training and into your relationship. It will grow the relationship that you have with your dog. It will make life with your dog feel light and easy. And the fourth aspect are emergency cues. They are used to interrupt predatory chasing when it happens, effectively, promptly, and without punishment. Here it is super important to build a recall that works even under the strongest distractions, even to recall your dog from running deer. And the effect is relief and a feeling of safety. How can you achieve this with your dog? Well, that's my specialty and exactly what I teach in Predation Substitute Training. I use my proven step-by-step plan to master your dog's predatory behavior by implementing the 4 aspects of Predation Substitute Training into your daily life. I provide those techniques in my Predation Substitute Training offers to dog guardians around the world, so that you can finally give your dog more freedom. To achieve this, you have 2 options. You can keep trying on your own, having to help yourself with your problems, or you can get the optimal shortcut and support with my help and experience and finally change something and achieve your goals. If you don't want to wander around anymore, but would like to see visible results and strengthened relationship with your dog faster, I would like to invite you to my course, which will give you my bundled knowledge and all proven solution for predatory behavior in dogs. I have put together this super comprehensive Predation Substitute Training self-learning course, Call of the Chase. It is safe to say that Call of the Chase is the most comprehensive and most practical course on predatory behavior in dogs. It contains all the tools and the experience that I learned in 20 years of practicing and teaching predation substitute training with my own dogs and with my clients' dogs. Call of the Chase consists of 13 comprehensive modules that will guide you step by step through the 4 aspects of predation substitute training that we just talked about: management and prevention, tools in the presence of wildlife, predation substitute games, and emergency cues. This course will equip you with everything that you need to successfully stop your dog's predatory chasing without using intimidation, pain, or fear. It will even grow the bond that you have with your dog, because it will make you two partners in crime. You will no longer be the killjoy who stops the dog from doing what they are passionate about, but you will become the one they have fun with together, the one who enables hunting success in a safe and structured way. Let's have a closer look. Module 1 is about understanding predatory behavior in your dog, observing your dog, finding out what their talents and hobbies are and how to work with this. Modules 2 and 3 aim at lowering arousal, teaching your dog to stay in contact with you so that your dog is able to listen to your cues and follow your cues even under high distractive events. Module 4, 5, and 6 are on predation substitute tools that you can use when you come across wildlife and your dog wants to track or chase another animal. Either if your dog sees another animal or if you have a dog that is completely on fire, when they come across tracks of an animal, you will find the right exercise in this course so that your dog is able to stay calm and approachable in this situation. Module 7 teaches you the correct leash handling and what to do when things go wrong. So this section is about troubleshooting. Modules 8 and 9 are all about games. Games that fit the needs of your individual dog. I will give you a variety of games for all types and breeds. Dogs that love to watch wildlife, dogs that love to track wildlife, dogs that love to search, to flush, etc. There are games in every module to keep the fun high and to give your dog need-oriented outlets. But in module 8 and 9, we will explicitly focus on this and really go into detail. Module 10 is a key chapter. It teaches you the golden rule of force-free anti-predation training and how to use this golden rule to take your training to the next level. Modules 11 and 12 are all about interrupting predatory behavior. Recall from wildlife is the most challenging behavior to train. And even though this is not a recall course, of course you will need recall eventually. So I'm going to explain and show you ways how to train a super strong recall that even works in the face of the strongest distractions. The course comes with a bonus module in which I analyze situations of dogs performing predation substitute training so that you can learn from these videos. There will also be a bonus article on various topics regarding predatory behavior or force-free anti-predation training in each chapter. And of course, there will be a workbook for you with every chapter to take notes and to quickly look up exercises and games. Call of the Chase covers all the 4 components of force-free anti-predation training that we just talked about and that are so important. With the content of this course, I have helped hundreds of human-dog teams to thrive and not just survive. Everything that I teach in this course is backed by the latest research. And with my background of not only training dogs, but of being a teacher and having worked as a teacher for 10 years, I know how to take the latest research and turn it into practical strategies that are simple and easy to use for every dog guardian. I know that you need simple, easy, practical. In a nutshell, Call of the Chase is no fluff, no judgment, just research-backed strategies that work. Call of the Chase is unlike any other anti-predation course that you will find out there because I'm combining strategies that will help you to find relief in the short term, together with teaching you and your dog new skills that will help you to more relaxed walks in the long term. This all comes with the simplicity and practicality of me also being a dog guardian who gets it, who knows that you need something that works in every moment. Predation is definitely one of the biggest challenges that come with dog ownership, and that can feel super overwhelming. What you really need is someone who's been there, who's done that, to take you by the hand and tell you exactly what to do, step by step, who will remind you that it will all work out in the end. And that's what I'm here for. This is why I have created this course, to provide you with research-based and solution-based strategies and tools. Maybe you are a first-time dog owner and you don't know where to start. Maybe you have just rescued a dog that comes with a big amount of prey drive. Maybe you are a new puppy owner. Maybe you are an experienced dog owner and you already understand the basics, but you want to feel more confident in what you do with your high drive dog. Or maybe you're just confused and anxious and frustrated with your dog being completely switched off outside. Regardless of what brought you here, I am here to give you everything that you need to confidently tackle your dog's predatory motivation. No prior knowledge or experience required. Let's have a look at what other people say about predation substitute training and call off the chase. Bo from Sweden says, I just want to say how glad we are that we took your class earlier this year. It has made our walk so much easier. Yesterday, our working lab saw a running rabbit across the field. He watched and came back for treats and a chase game. We could continue our walk unaffected. An amazing difference compared to half a year back, even though we still have bits to work on. Thanks for sharing your expertise. Rosa says, easy to follow and great games, suitable for both beginners and more experienced dog owners. Bianca from Germany says, Simone manages to explain an actually complex topic in a simple and understandable way. The exercises are described very clearly and are therefore easy to do on your own. My favorite exercise? Definitely backtracking. Finally, it works. And here's the last testimonial that I would like to share. Can't thank you enough for this training. I know for certain that this is going to save his life. We went out for our morning pee and turned the corner and saw 2 does. They were 10 feet away and he didn't react at all. A month ago, he would have taken me down to get to them. So thank you. I recommend it to everyone I know. Since you have watched the webinar up to this point, I am sure your dog really does exhibit pronounced hunting behavior. So here's the special webinar deal for you. You can save 150 euro or dollar on Call of the Chase if you book now. Of course, there are several payment plans to suit your individual situation. To get to the course page with all the info and a comprehensive Q&A that will cover all your questions, please click the link in the description. If you're still unsure if Call of the Chase is the right course for you, Call of the Chase is the most comprehensive self-learning course on force-free predation substitute training. It can help you to build a better bond with your dog. It can help you to more relaxed walks when you are out with your dog. It can help to stop predatory chasing and the risks that come with this, your dog being hurt, being shot, or being hit by a car. It can prevent yourself being hurt, dragged around, and knocked over. It can help you to better understand your dog and overcome emotions of frustrations, embarrassment, and fear. The course comes with 13 modules that provide you with all the tools that you need to successfully train your dog and fulfill your dog's individual and breed-specific needs. It covers the 4 aspects of predation substitute training, management and prevention, tools to use in a wild environment when you encounter wildlife, predation substitute games that give your dog an outlet for their needs, and emergency cues to immediately and safely interrupt predatory chasing if it happens without punishment, pain, or intimidation. As we look at the individual dog and their predatory preferences and genetic makeup, this course is suitable for adult dogs as well as for puppies to prevent unwanted predatory behavior from the beginning. All the methods in this course are force-free, so that this course is also suitable for fearful dogs, for reactive dogs, for rescue dogs, as well as for high drive and boisterous dogs with a huge and high energy level. As we cover all the different genetic aspects of predatory behavior, depending on breed or breed mixes, you can choose from a wide range of activities, exercises, and games to meet your individual dog's needs. If you are a first-time dog owner, I will guide you step by step through the training process. If you are an experienced dog guardian with a lot of previous knowledge, I'm sure this course will help you to refine and complement your skills and methods. To get more info and a closer, more detailed look at the course, you can now hit the link in the description and save 150 euro or US dollar. Imagine this time next year, your walks can be so much more relaxed. Your dog can be so much more relaxed. Your bond can be so much stronger because you are now hunting partners that understand each other and work like a team. You can now buy the course for the special webinar deal and save 150 euro or 150 US dollar. And of course, there are several payment options available for you to suit your individual situation. If you now click on the link in the description, you will get to the course page with all the info and the comprehensive Q&A that will cover all your questions. Please keep in mind, you need these 4 steps that make the difference between uncontrolled chasing and you and your dog hunting together. I would be very happy to show you the complete 4 steps and accompany you and your dog on your way. Let's wrap this up. I hope that the webinar on prey drive in dogs, what works and what doesn't, was helpful for you to find better solutions to control your dog's predatory motivation. I'd love to hear from you and to stay in touch. Please follow me on social media for more info on predatory behavior in dogs and how to tackle it with force-free, positive, and fair training methods. I always love to see videos of you and your dog mastering wildlife encounters or playing predation substitute games. So please tag me in your videos. I try to catch them all and reshare them on my page. If you decide to start with Call of the Chase, the comprehensive self-learning course to harness your dog's prey drive, then send me a message and I am happy to accompany you step by step on your training journey. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for your attention and for the time that you gave me. Happy training and all the best for you and your dog.